Thank you, Yolanda, and thank you to everyone at Bank Street College of Education for honoring me tonight. I have such great respect for all that Bank Street has accomplished throughout its long and storied history, and for how it continues to innovate in pursuit of its vitally important mission. I share Bank Street's conviction about the power of education to improve the lives of individuals, to strengthen families and communities, and to build a better society. I've experienced the power of all of these items in my own life. I grew up in a middle-class family in what you might call a tough neighborhood in Washington, D.C. My mother was a teacher who instilled in me a love of learning, and my father was a map maker, a cartographer in the Army, who inspired me with his passion for investing and financial matters. They always insisted that education was the key to success. I was 3 years old when the Supreme Court declared segregation in public schools to be unconstitutional in the famous Brown versus Board of Education opinion. When I started elementary school, however, my only option was a segregated school in Washington, D.C., because the schools were still segregated in the late 50s and early 60s. But the time I got to middle school to junior high school, I was able to enroll in an integrated magnet program. And from there, educational opportunities continued to open up for me, and I know that I wouldn't be where I am today without them. When I was given the opportunity to lead TIAA in 2008, I felt like my life had come full circle, given TIAA's deep roots in education, as you've heard from Yolanda. Like Bank Street, we were founded in the early 20th century by a visionary with a deep reverence for education. In our case, the great industrialist and philanthropist, Andrew Carnegie. Importantly, given tonight's theme, Carnegie was himself an immigrant. He came to the U.S. from Scotland in 1848 and grew up poor, but then went on to become one of the world's wealthiest human beings. He also became one of the world's greatest philanthropists, giving away nearly 90% of his fortune to support ideas and issues he cared deeply about, chief among them education, libraries, world peace, and scientific research. Carnegie's own formal education ended when he was just a boy, but in spite of that, or frankly more likely because of it, he considered teaching to be one of the most noble of all professions. As a businessman, he also saw education as a competitive edge in the United States, his adopted country. So, when Carnegie became a trustee at Cornell University in 1890, he was shocked to learn that professors earned less than some of the clerks he employed in his business in Pittsburgh. The U.S. Social Security system did not exist yet, so most professors had to either retire to a life of poverty or keep right on working and literally until they died. Carnegie saw clearly that this situation kept some of America's best and brightest from becoming teachers. So in 1918, his Carnegie Corporation established TIAA as a retirement system for America's colleges and universities. Not only was this a way to help ensure that people who worked in higher ed could retire with financial security, it was also a strong investment in making the U.S. higher education system the finest in the world. So that history makes my company, TIAA, unique in its financial services industry, and so does the mission that we were founded to follow since 1918, which is to serve those who serve others. We've done great work over our nearly 100-year history, but it would not have been possible without the vision and the dedication of a person who saw education as an essential element of well-being of Americans and American society, and a person who, by the way, was an immigrant. In that way, the TIA story intersects with the Bank Street story, as both Yolanda and I have attempted to bring to life this evening. Since Lucy Sprague Mitchell founded Bank Street more than 100 years ago, the organization has done so much to improve the education of children and their teachers, and to harness the opportunities that education brings. Bank Street has made a difference in countless lives. I commend Bank Street for putting the focus on immigrant students tonight and for underscoring that education is a human right, and I couldn't agree more. Education is the one possession that can never be taken away from a person, and I believe it has no equal when it comes to enabling success. Andrew Carnegie's story is a reminder of how much immigrants have contributed to the United States over many years. Today's immigrant students deserve a quality education. It's the gateway to the opportunities that will enable them to reach their full potential, to thrive and to contribute to creating a better society here in the United States and around the world in the 21st century. So based on that, please. So against that backdrop and against that reasoning, I am humbled to be honored this evening by Bank Street. I want to thank Bank Street for all that you have done over so many years to strengthen education in our nation, and I congratulate you on the success you have achieved. Thank you for your continued commitment, and thank you again for honoring me tonight. Thank you very much.